Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
We are Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, and we're talking about off-roading here. Now, a razor like this, any of these UTVs, you want to accessorize it as soon as you get it. Folks are putting things like the buggy whips on it, lights on the front, radios, all kinds of accessories. And Laura, until recently, how have people controlled all of those accessories from inside the cockpit there?
Well, typically with toggle switches on the dash, sometimes you had a half a dozen, other times people fill the entire dash, and with every one of those, and you also had a relay and a fuse for every one of the accessories. They were a simple on-off technology, and one of the biggest issues you run into with that is if you have a short, your accessory stops functioning, you actually have to get into the belly of the beast, you've got to trace it down, figure out which fuse is blown, and replace the fuse. And we made all that go away.
And how did you solve that problem at Switch Pros?
We created a power distribution system that eliminates all of the need for the relays and fuses.
Excellent. And of course, you have the control panel, which is sort of the heart of the system. How is that advantageous? How is it better to have one of those than all the toggle switches?
Well, for one, if you look at the size of this is actually, this is a Racer Force 12 touch panel. It measures 3 inches by 4 inches, and you can actually have 12 switches in the size that you could essentially have just, just maybe 4 toggle switches.
And
so.
I see all of the labels here, all the different things, all the different functions you can control through the control panel. How do you program this once you get it on the vehicle?
The easiest way to do that is to download a free app that we have that's out available on the internet on both major platforms. And you can actually go in and screen by screen. You can tell through the app, you can tell this system what kind of behavior you want from each of the accessories. A default would be on-off. So you push a button, it turns something on, you push a button, it turns it off. Let's say you want to do something like an air horn or a siren. You can actually program, you can change the programming to be momentary, where you can actually push the button and hold, and for the duration the siren will sound, and when you let off, it shuts off. We can also program things like flashing and strobing and like what we call a bursting strobe. So what we can actually do is these lights are on solid, but we can program it so that if you either double tap a switch or you single tap and you select a one touch function, you can basically make those dance. So they can Halloween strobe, kind of a continuous strobe, or you can do a bursting strobe where it will actually strobe and then pause in the off position. And you can also do things like we've done, and you'll see in our programming that we've actually created turn signals. So you can use a beacon flash and it will actually take a light like this LED here and it will flash in an on-off pause position just like a turn signal from the factory.
Speaking of that light that blinks there, I've seen it blink faster and slower because of the dimming feature. How does the dimming feature work?
So you go into the app and let's say that you want these whips dimmed, you want to send less output or less power to them so that you can reduce the brightness. You actually program it for dimming, and then when you go to activate it, you push and hold the switch and you'll actually watch it step down, and the slower that light is blinking, the indicator that you spoke of, the slower it is, the less power is actually going to the output, which will reduce the brightness of the light. You can also use that in our machines. We actually have heated seats, and that's one way to actually reduce the amount of power so that you can lessen the intensity of the heat that's coming through the powered seat.
Switch Pro systems are incredibly easy to use. How easy are they to install?
It's really simple. This goes into the dash. This power module goes near the battery. You connect the power to the positive terminal of the battery and the stud on the power module. You connect these two pieces with a communications cable, and then these are your output leads. They connect to the connectors here and directly to the hot leads on the accessories, and then you ground your accessories in a typical grounding fashion.
Well, let's talk about programming. How do you program the different functions on the unit?
You know, our app is incredibly easy to follow. You actually can go page by page. You can select individual accessories. You select what the capability is you want, be that strobe, flash, on-off, momentary. You hit next, you scroll to the next page, you select additional switches and what kind of behaviors you want, and then at the end you exit, and you can both operate it from the touch panel as well as from your phone.
A system from Switch Pros is incredibly easy to operate. It's going to make your life easier no matter what kind of vehicle you drive. Check them out at switchpros.com. And check out more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com in just a few moments.